and welcome to Helô Talks. We are now in the second episode of our podcast, and today Helô talks to my dear forever student, Vagner Ribeiro. Wagner, welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Appreciate the invitation. Thank you.
Good. Well, Wagner, I would like you to tell us something about you.
Sure.
How long have you been in the U.S.? And you can tell us a little bit about you and the times when you were my student.
Well, everything starts probably 1995.
Wow, long ago.
1995. I start with another teacher, and then she moved away.
I remember.
And then I was introduced to you.
Mm-hmm. Marcia.
In order to start. And then that's the saga starts.
Okay.
Anyway, so took a little bit of while for us to speed up my English because, it's hard to start.
Mm-hmm.
But in 1998, I designed to myself a new challenge. What about if we move to the United States? Of course, I offered to my wife, Selena, my dear and forever also wife. How can we make it happen? She said, I think we can. Why not? And then the 2 years passed so fast. And then I tried to speed up my English as much as I could.
I remember you used to come every day.
Yeah,
Wagner told me, Helô, I need to have classes every day. Please put me in lots of groups.
More hours.
And you did it.
And then the big day arrived to my lap. Okay, move on. So, and then we moved to the United States.
It was the year 2000?
2000. March 2000.
I remember.
Which we just closed 23 years.
Wow, so it's been 23 March, because it's June now.
So the idea was a design project for 6 months only.
Mm-hmm. Really? You would think...
It was an immersion English for me, Elisa, Felipe.
How old were they?
They were 12 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
So
teenagers.
Not the best age to move out because they have friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, and
and teenagers.
Teenagers.
They like the group.
They say, how can we go there and know nobody?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Well, anyway, go to school and get busy. So I also went to school 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Wow.
Selena.
So you took English classes?
English classes.
In the U.S., they have ESL. They offer classes for free.
Well, there is free and there is no free. Mm-hmm. The no free is church.
Oh, really?
Most of churches offer English ESL for people that arrive with no English.
Mm-hmm.
We were a little bit more intermediate, let's put it this way.
Right.
So, and then we paid for, because in this way you have better, more quality classes that you can get involved with barbecues and meet different people, even American spoken English from Australia or England, which changes the accent, and then you must involve yourself in order to really understand what's going on, and subjects go to the sky.
That's the big challenge, I think.
That's the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
That was the big start for 6 months.
Wow, for 6 months. Wow.
After that, new things happen.
Right, so you changed, you changed your mind about staying there. So it was a first plan to be there for 6 months to see adaptation. Yes, of course, because you had 2 teenage kids.
And also Selena, when she got back to Brazil again after 6 months, she would be more capable to teach English, which she works with you.
Yes, yes.
She worked with you for a while, so...
She would have a very, very good background.
Much better offer. Let's put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So your backpack girls with information.
Experience. And real language experience. Like
yes, that's correct. Which is very interesting when we get there. Mm-hmm. We are capable to asking, but the response is very hard to understand. Mm-hmm. Because when you learn here, of course, speed is different. Uh-huh. And by the way, like the way when we speak Portuguese, we speed up and then nobody understands what's going on. Yeah. Imagine an American coming here with basic language and go to Northeast.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And that's one point, like we learn to speak the language and English, and then when you get there, you can make yourself understood, but then people realize, oh, they can speak, and then they speak very naturally and fast, and then it's difficult to understand. So did you go through this?
100%.
Uh-huh. Me too, the times that I visited.
That's when I learned one thing. One of my teacher, he said, listen like in music. Mm. The way Americans speak, we have stress intonations that makes our understanding to each other better and faster. Mm-hmm. If you flatten it, your words and your sentence, they don't catch it.
You don't make yourself understood. No. Like it's like the intonation.
Yeah, you have to have stress and intonation. So that's when I figured that I said, you know what? Let me put a little bit more stress the way I talk. That's the way I'm trying to do right now. You know what? Let me try to do. Oh, by the way, so. Those are the...
You know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? Oh, I'm so sorry. So you give some time.
That makes you sound more natural.
And by the way, it's more polite.
Wow.
Because when you flatten your English...
Your speech,
what's happened is they lost attention. They don't want to talk to you anymore.
Wow. Maybe they consider it impolite or lack of interest. Maybe lack of interest.
They think you are not doing as much as you should. You should bring to them a little bit more comfort. Mm-hmm. If you don't learn, they get tired about it.
It might sound inconsiderate from the speaker part.
Yeah, conversations must flow. Otherwise, it's not a good exchange.
Exchange of.
But anyway, after 6 months, I got an offer to work.
Wow. So that's how you decided to stay.
For a Brazilian company.
Oh, is that the company you are until now?
I'm still working for them.
Almost retiring, Vagner, because after 23 years.
Next year, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, such a blessing.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to semi-retire. Because believe me, everyone listen to this podcast. Retirement in the United States is the same as in Brazil. You make when you work, you don't make as much when you retire.
The same. Yeah, the same as here.
Like a 1/3 or half. So if you're not prepared with your pensions or some other savings, you need to part-time work.
Exactly that here.
It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But God bless me if I have health enough to keep up and work a little bit, do what I want, what I like, instead do what I'm doing right now. Because I'm still traveling, working as an engineer. You have so much responsibility that tire yourself. So anyway...
Well, anyway, it's a way... Getting a retirement, I think it's a way for us to slow down, if possible. It's not like stopping, suddenly. But
stopping, I would say that nobody in the United States thinking this way. Mm-hmm. Because capability...
It's the culture, Vagner. Would you say it's cultural? Because here, I think here in Brazil, not everybody, but lots of people say, oh, I'm tired, I want to stop, I cannot work anymore. And sometimes they are 55 or...
Yeah.
It's cultural.
It's cultural because... There is one thing I'm going to say that I don't know if it's possible to understand if a translation. You are not capable if you stop and you lose your identity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you stop being productive. And so, if you are not producing anything anymore.
Yeah. So people like to know you by who you are, not just your personal good or something, but who you are as far as working in the society.
It's your identity.
Yeah, your identity. And the United States likes people that is still working because you are paying taxes. More you work, more tax you pay. So in this way, the United States doesn't like when you, I'm going to retire and do nothing. So that's why I think I'm still going to do something. I think I need it. I'm not going to be able to stop. And
totally.
That's it. Totally. Yeah.
Okay. I think you were right, Vagner, because that's how we feel alive. We feel productive. We feel healthy and involved, getting involved.
And I like my friends that we get together and we talk about things. We talk about our personal life, but we also talk about our positives and negative things about the job. Sometimes you talk to your friend, I'm so mad about my boss. Well, you have a subject to say. And then, okay, I'm sorry, I was washing dishes and I broke something. No, I think in order to have a good conversation, I think Americans really like when you go A to Z. You know?
Okay.
Because if you're a person that only talk about
the
business,
thing.
it's not invitable. When you talk about everything, you are plural. You are a person. They love when I talk to them about Brazil.
Wow, they like to learn about it.
Yeah. Oh, what's the best place to go? Oh, how's the weather? They don't know
the food. They know about the food, our food.
Yeah, they ask about, for example, here's winter. What about there? Oh, it's an opposite. Because we are South America, here's North America. They don't even know sometimes about that. So, Americans are not geographically educated.
Yeah, no, they don't know. They don't know. I see when some Americans come visit us, they have no idea. Sometimes they don't even know the capital of Brazil. They say it's Buenos Aires.
Yeah, or whatever. But anyway, it is an experience. And I have been living in the United States, in Michigan, 19 years, and Texas, 5 years.
I remember I visited you. It was so nice. And it was a very special day.
I can't wait till you guys come over.
Yes, I will. We will. We're planning to.
I hope so.
Vagner, what about this difference, like from north to south, northeast, Michigan? You lived for 19 years and then moving to Texas. Was there any big challenge for you and your family?
The big challenge is the weather. Michigan, you have 6 months cold and 6 months so-so. Not hot.
Never, not hot at all.
A couple weeks you have 40 degrees.
And Vagner, when you say 6 months cold weather, does that mean snowing or?
Well, it's like a rain. Happen sometimes it's not every day. Okay. But you have a bunch of snow starting November and pretty much April is the last one.
Wow.
But the April stays in the floor without melt to the end of the May. Because it's so cold, the asphalt and the ground is so solid that the snow doesn't go away.
Doesn't melt.
Takes forever.
I heard an expression called freezing rain, something that
freezing rain.
The pavement gets slippery.
Well, they call black ice.
Black ice?
Freezing rain, black ice. Those are the worst combinations possible. When this happens, November and December. Why? Because the weather starts to getting cold, and sometimes you have a mixed rain. It's raining water and solidify on the trees, on the floor, because the water stays there. And when the rain solidifies clear ice. You can see through the ice and you see the asphalt.
So that's why it's black ice?
It's black ice. So, but that's a problem.
Dangerous, I think.
Because you're driving You approach the area that is the black ice, usually on the shade of the trees, or when you have up and down, the wind is coming this way, it's a freezing here and not freezing here because the sun is here. When you go to the top of the hill, your car spins because you have no grip.
Dangerous.
The word say is grip.
Grip?
You have no grip in your tires against the floor.
Okay, grip is like the attachment, a kind of friction.
There is no grip. So that's why winter time,
very dangerous.
Most of the time you have to change your tires. Different set of tires for the winter time.
For the winter.
The tire is soft, rubber. Wow. And then you have
the grip.
Better grip. So this is what's happening. And then when the freezing rain happens on the trees, the branches fall and break the wire system, the power lines. And then hundreds and hundreds of people with no power.
Yes, I heard of a family once, a Brazilian family. They asked us to pray because they were at home with a lot of snow and the power went off. Mm-hmm. How can you solve that?
Well, I got a situation after 4 days. I start to cook everything I have in the barbecue with this propane in a container propane. So I was able to cook my things because things starts to spoil.
Wow.
So, and then the 5th day, I moved to my friend's house because my house was -1 degree inside.
Yes, Celsius. And that's another point. You may die because, like in this kind of weather, if you say like hours outside, it's...
And there is other tricks you have to do. You have to leave your faucets raining,
dripping
water full time. Otherwise, freezes the pipe.
It may blow
and blow the pipe. When they
lots of challenges.
And when they melt it out, you have a flood in your house.
Mm-hmm.
So winter is brutal. Yeah, winter is brutal. So now, culture saying northeast is older, small town, narrow roads, because that's where the country developed.
Yes, and that's where it all started. There's a region in the northeast called New England.
Yeah, it's 13 states that starts.
Yeah, the colonies.
Yeah, and then of course Texas is a new state, and also you can go for Texas North. You go Oklahoma, Colorado, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Wyoming, and then Utah. I'll tell you, those states are new states. You can see on the map is very interesting.
Oh,
just check it out.
I was going to ask about
the states on the East Coast. They are not square. They are divided by rivers.
That's why they're more broken and irregular.
Yeah.
Natural.
They have corners, like Brazil states.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go
west
to the center of the country,
Midwest,
boom, 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 squared like a rectangle.
I heard an expression called panhandle because some states that they were not able to be totally square, they have one handle so that some look like a pan. I heard that expression.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense because there is some states like, with those little corners.
Yeah. Well, it's called panhandle. Cabo da Panela.
Yeah, they say.
Would you like some water?
Yeah, please. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're talking a lot.
I'm all set. Thank you. Okay? Oh, that's beautiful.
Get some coffee.
So, it is an experience when you move south because, as I said, old-fashioned and new fashion.
Okay.
Bigger roads in south.
Mm-hmm.
Development is going sky high because it's warmer, and Texas is known because it's the new California, Texas. Because most people from California are moving to Texas because the headquarters are moving to Texas. Toyota, Chase Bank, Comerica Bank, and blah, blah, blah.
And why is this phenomenon happening?
Well, the phenomenon is because you are more centered and it's not expensive as California. California was inflated by the number of people plus the amount of money in order to live there.
Okay, it's a higher cost of living.
Let's talk about a house, $1 million there is $200,000 in the center of the country. That is five times less.
5 times less. So the cost of living is less.
Yes, it is. Fuel more expensive. In order to fill up your tank, it's almost double.
Wow.
So
the companies are moving.
Companies are moving because Texas are so rich nowadays and providing petroleum and all the United States needs is from Texas. Texas can survive by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Texas doesn't need the United States. It's very independent. Actually, Texas is one of the independent states because they can cut the state in 5 small states and disconnect it from the United States.
Wonderful.
But they don't want to do that because, money talks.
Mm-hmm.
And they make a lot of money selling the products from the petroleum, from the Mexico Gulf to the rest of the United States.
Uh-huh.
And there is no state tax for us that work there.
Really?
It's free of tax. State tax is free.
It's free. Because the state is rich.
It's rich. They don't need our money. Michigan, we have to pay 10%.
Uh-huh.
For every penny you make, 10% go to the state. Texas, 0.
Wow, Vagner is so nice.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting information to our listeners about the country.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that headquarters from all over the country, mainly from California, are moving down. I say moving down because, as you all know, Texas is bordered with Mexico Gulf and also Mexico's Monterey,
mm-hmm.
which we are on the border, very, very south. We are south like Tampa.
Okay,
Florida.
Just like the same height.
Yeah, and hot.
Yeah, we were talking about the challenge of you moved from totally snowy and freezing rain to dry, hot Texas.
Desert.
So was that a challenge for you?
Was a challenge
to adapt?
Because you have to adapt even your healthy. For example, how do you say when you have a runny nose? It's
the flu, rhinitis, allergic disease. I know because here in Limeira we do it so dry.
So there is so dry because it's a desert. Every big tree you see on the street is dripping water full time. Otherwise, that tree won't be there. And all the grass all over the state is sprinkler friendly.
So they have to be cared for. Otherwise, they would die because it's a dry air.
Very dry air and doesn't rain much. When you have rain, those rains are like 100 kilometers per hour wind and like a desert. Very, very strong winds.
Like 2 extremes then. For us Brazilian people.
And by the way, June, July, August is the worst. It's a nightmare.
Uh-huh.
It's every day 40 degrees.
The summertime.
You don't want to stay outside barbecuing or camping.
It's not comfortable to be outside. So everybody's more indoors then.
Yeah. It's a big challenge for the state to take care of the grid. What I mean about the grid, the power grid. Power grid is one word that us Brazilians doesn't know about.
I totally.
Power grid, it means every power generated here, where the generators are or the power plant is, distribution is the grid. It's like a net.
Like a grid, like a grade.
Correct.
Grid from grade, G-R-I-D.
Yes, you have it like a net. It's the grid. So power lines go this way, go that way. They call power grid. The power grid sometimes is not enough. They shut down because so much air conditioning working in our houses, which is run full time. And then the power grid is not enough, and boom, and then you run out of power for 10 hours, and then they come back again. Very seldom that this happens, but once in a while.
Okay, but even the rich states have their challenges, Vagner, because it's like because extreme weather. This is like extreme weather condition.
Extreme weather, and thousands of people are moving to Texas right now. I encourage all of you to go over and Google New California, Texas. How many people arriving weekly? It's thousands of people arriving.
Wow.
Mainly from California.
Because of that.
That's a very unique information that I learned.
Very interesting.
Living there.
Yes.
And I live close by Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yes. You're from Frisco? The city is it's near Dallas.
Near Dallas, 45 minutes north.
North of Dallas.
North, it means going to Oklahoma or going to Denver or Colorado directions. Go completely north. You leave Dallas going north, that's where I live. Well, North Texas is a little bit better than South Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there is a very different economic situation. Houses are more expensive a little bit north. Schools are better north. And I live north because my daughter lives in north. And my dear friend Mello lives there. His wife.
Yes.
So
Vagner, that's why I don't remember why you moved to Texas, because Elisa was there first. Elisa is Wagner's daughter, and now they were teenagers those times, but now they're adults.
Well, one word she said: "Mom and Daddy, I'm planning to have a baby." And then I said, "Uh-oh, she's gonna need us, or you're gonna need them. I don't know." So Mama is very happy to be close to the babies. So,
for sure.
And then I asked my boss.
And good for your daughter too, for Elisa.
Of course. And she was